When you go to the U.S. Holocaust Museum in D.C., there is a beautiful verse from Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 9, inscribed on the wall above the eternal flame in the Hall of Remembrance. Only guard yourself and guard your soul carefully, lest you forget the things your eyes saw, and lest these things depart your heart all the days of your life, and you shall make them known to your children and your children's children. When we are gone, who will share our stories? This is a question of great concern, not only for survivors of the Holocaust, but for younger generations of Jews across the globe. In the face of those who argue that the Holocaust was a conspiracy, a falsehood, a lie to get a Jewish state, we have a lot of work to do. Anti-Semitism did not go away after the Holocaust, and it pains me to face the reality that it has returned in deadly fashion. All this while in living memory of the Shoah. That we must consider weapons for protection inside of synagogues brings me great discomfort. With each generation, there is a set of new challenges that we must face. For millennial Jews, our challenge will be to preserve the memories of our ancestors. This past summer, I spent 2 weeks in Poland learning about the preservation of Jewish memory. I walked around in Warsaw to explore the history of the city. They call it the Phoenix City because after Warsaw was almost entirely destroyed by the Nazis, it rose out of the ashes to be a great city. Prior to the Shoah, Warsaw had the second largest Jewish community in the world. But when I walked through the city this summer, I met very few. When being led on a walking tour through the streets of Krakow, I asked the director of the local JCC, how many Jews are still in Poland? She didn't want to give me an answer. Perhaps knowing how few are left from so many is too painful to know. I then walked into the heart of darkness that is Auschwitz-Birkenau. Even though it is no longer in operation, I had never felt such an evil presence in all my life. A place with no remnants of humanity. After our tour of the camp, we went to the Auschwitz Center for Dialogue and Prayer, and we reflected on the experience with a nun named Sister Mary O'Sullivan. When I asked her how to make sense of what I saw, she said something that will stick with me forever. She said, let it sit with you, and when you're ready, let it speak to you. When reflecting on those words, and in the recent events of the Tree of Life massacre, I have opened my heart, and I let it speak to me. It said to me the words of Deuteronomy, to never forget our past, because if we do, then on what basis do we have to move forward? We cannot forget what our ancestors have suffered through. There's a reason we're in the United States right now, and for most of us, it is because of the destruction of the past. I'm here to use my experience to fight for our memories to be preserved. If you are one of our cherished Holocaust survivors, please share all of your stories with us. If you are a son or a daughter of a survivor, share your parents' stories. Share every detail. If you are like me, and you are a grandchild or a descendant of a Holocaust survivor, ask questions. Make sure you get the stories of our ancestors and document all of it. This is how we preserve the memories of our people. We preserve it by never ceasing to share our amazing stories, how against all odds we have survived and we are here to stay. See, I believe we have two lives. Our first life is our presence on earth, with the actions and deeds that we do while we are here. Our second life is the stories that are shared about us after our bodies no longer walk this earth. We live on through the stories we share and repeat. This is how Judaism survives. At the Passover Seder, we share our story of liberation from Egypt, and in doing so, Moses and the Israelites are still with us here today. Remember, Elie Wiesel said, to forget the dead is akin to killing them again. To keep our faith, our culture alive. We must keep telling the stories of our ancestors, and we must ensure that the world must never forget what was done to us. Thank you.